What's going on, everybody? It is Hannah here again, back again with another hitting tips video for you guys. Now, I know I made one a couple months ago that did really well on the channel here. It's really what made me kind of pursue doing YouTube content more, seeing the success that I had, seeing all the positive comments and whatnot. And like I said, that video came out a couple months ago, and a lot with the game has changed. A lot of new cards have came out, obviously, a lot of better cards at the plate, a lot better cards on the mound too. So a lot has changed with how I play the game, what settings I use. So I figured help you guys out. I know a lot of people are always still looking to find some tips to get better at the game, and being top 5 lifetime, I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot to help give some of those tips. So I'm gonna go over some of the basic ones that I have here. Obviously, hitting view. If you want to be good at the game, you want to use strike zone or strike zone high, one of those two. Obviously, I think those are the two most used from players that are really good at the game. Your World Series, your 1,000 rating, etc. Players like that. So if you want to get better at the game, you want to use strike zone or strike zone high, because it's going to be easier to pick up the ball. You're going to be more zoomed in on the pitcher, and it's just going to be a lot easier for you to hit, especially when you're playing on those higher difficulties, because the PCI size is small the way it is, and if you're playing on a camera that's really zoomed out, it's going to make it really hard for you to hit. Now, in my old hitting tips video, I was using wedge inner, I think it was with circles, and I was using black and 80% because that was at a point in time where I wasn't really feeling the most comfortable at the plate. But I've gotten past that point. I've gotten back to where I'm using the center only circles. I'm using a white PCI. I just feel like it's easier for me to put the white PCI on a white ball, just kind of match the colors. Just makes it a little bit easier for me. And I just keep it at 100%. It's what I'm comfortable with, and finding a PCI that works for you is probably one of the most important things in this game. Just because I use circles, white, and 100% doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. But hey, if you give it a shot and it works, that's great. I'd love to hear that if my PCI works for you. But if it doesn't, try messing around with a little bit. The reason why I always use circles now is because the way that I look at it is that center PCI is obviously what's going to get you a perfect. When you put the center PCI on the ball with perfect timing, that's what you're going to want to do, obviously, to get the best results. And if you can put that center PCI on the ball more often than not, you're going to make better swings and you're going to hit the ball pretty damn hard. Because the way I look at it, obviously, like I was saying, if you can hit with the center only, and say like even if you just miss it, your inner PCI, even though you don't see it, that's gonna be near the ball, so it's still gonna be a decent swing for the most part. So the way I look at it is, if you aim small, you miss small. So even if I do slightly miss it, it's still gonna be a good swing because the inner PCI will probably be on it, and it's going to result in more hits and more runs, and you're going to win more games. Now, the second part that I want to get into is, obviously, you want to work on custom practice. Now, my buddy here, JR, has a great custom roster for you guys to use. If you look up his PSN, I'm going to drop his link down in the description below to his Twitch and his Twitter. Make sure you guys go drop a follow over on both of those. He's a good player, and he puts a lot of time and effort into these rosters. And like this one right here, I'm recording this on, what's today, July 27th. So Kenley just got added into the game, and this is what I use to warm up for the summer circuit. And he has all of the great players on this. He took the time to, like Edward Cabrera, he has Ohtani, Jacob deGrom with Outlier, he's got Kenley, Mo, 99 Goose Gossage. So he has all those really good cards that are really hard to hit. And for me, whenever I warm up now, I have my my roster here. I'm going to load it up, and we're going to hop into custom practice, because this is what I use to warm up before I stream or just hop into a regular ranked game. Now, before we hop into anything here, a couple small things that I want to talk about is, I know a lot of you probably aren't on a next gen console, and if you're kind of new to the game, you might not know this, but say for example, you might be a New York Yankees fan. You might want to play at Yankee Stadium. It's not the best idea, even on a next gen console, to play at a Major League Park, because if you're looking to win games and you want to get rewarded the most, I know some people hate ship it, and even I'm not the biggest fan of it, but after playing at here for so long, I really like the batter's eye here, and you really just want to pick a park that, you know, where you're going to get rewarded for your good swings. Like these past couple days, I'm playing on Legend. I know not everybody plays on Legend, and this video is for more than just people that are top 50 at the game or anything of that sort, but your best bet at getting better at the game, you want to play at a minor league park or even a custom stadium if you're on next gen. I like playing at customs that have a decent elevation, which is something I'm going to talk about here really quickly. Is that if you pick a park that has really low elevation and the dimensions are kind of far, like for example Barnes Canyon, even though that's a minor league park, the elevation there is like basically 0 and the dimensions are really far. It's basically the same dimensions as Laughing Mountain, but the elevation is 0. You go play 2 separate games. You play one at Barnes Canyon, and one at Laughing Mountain. The game's gonna play completely different. You're gonna square up a ball and it's gonna die 20 feet in front of the warning track, and you're gonna sit there like, I just hit that ball with Mike Trout. Why is that ball not gone? So if you want to get the most out of what you're playing, you know, you want to get rewarded for good hits, you want to play with a park with a decent sized elevation, and you want to play at minor league stadiums, especially on, you know, your PlayStation 4s and your, I don't know what it is for old Xbox. I'm really only, I think it's what, Xbox One. So if you're playing on an old gen, so if you're not on a next gen console, you want to play at a minor league park because the game's going to run a lot more smoothly on an old gen console when you play at a minor league park, because it's been a problem in the game that we've had for the past couple of years. You know, you play at a major league park, you're going to notice some lag and it's going to mess up with your timing, your PCI placement. So pick a minor league park, you'll thank me later. So it's Stroh's roster here. Like I was saying, you know, you want to face the Angels and you want to hit with the Astros. That's how he has his roster set up. You know, so make sure when you're picking your team here, you're facing the Angels and you want to hit as the Astros. So I'm going to go into team practice here. And if you go to offense, he has, you know, the new 99 Vlad, Acuna, Prince Fielder, Chipper Jones, Kyle Schwarber. So your lineup is fine. That's okay. But what you really want to focus on in here is, say you're struggling against this new Jacob deGrom. You can go up against this card. You can work on hitting this new Jacob deGrom that's even messing me up. I don't even hit this card that well. It's why I'm practicing against him too. So he's got Jacob deGrom, Shohei Ohtani. This Topa guy, this is Edward Cabrera. You know, obviously, I don't think he was able to transfer him over, but obviously it doesn't look like Edward, but this is Edward. It's, you know, it's the same height, same weight, all that stuff, same motion, pitch mix. So this is Edward Cabrera. He's got Al Leiter, Corbin Burns, 99 Goose Gossage, 99 Mo, 99 Kenley, the new Alex Reyes, Gregory Soto, Freddie Peralta, and this Cordero is Chapman, I believe. Yeah, Cordero is Chapman, Lance Lynn, and those are all the best pitchers in the game right now. So you can work against every single one of these cards. So for me, if I want to start off, you know, say, okay, I'm going to see Jacob deGrom a lot lately, and I'm really struggling against him. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do team practice here, and I'm going to treat it just like it is a regular ranked game. You know, I talked about this in my last hitting tips, but you want to, you know, just treat it like as if it's a regular ranked game. And something I'm going to get into here as well is how to hit these meta pitchers. So when you're looking at Jacob deGrom here, right, you're going to get a lot of fastballs and you're going to get a lot of sliders. So those are his two main pitches that you're going to see a lot. You see over here on the right hand side, he's got 4-seam slider, changeup, curve, 2-seam. Now, I know his 2-seam is his 5th pitch, but if you're facing somebody that, you know, even if you're pitching with him, but obviously this is a hitting tips video, so I'll save that for another time. His 2-seamer can kind of mess you up too, because if you're sitting on 102, 97 is going to look like a changeup, but most people are just going to work that fastball, slider, changeup. Curveball, most of the time when you see it, it's going to be a ball. They want you to chase at it. You know, especially 2 strikes. You see something coming and that's going to drop, it's probably going to be a ball and you're going to chase over it. So that's something you got to keep an eye out for when you're facing deGrom is, you know, it's mainly just fastball, slider, but since he throws 102 and he has such a tough motion to pick the ball up sometimes, that fastball gets in on you fast, and his slider is a hard slider. You know, it's not like it's 85, 86 or whatever. It's a 92. Sometimes it gets up to like 94, 95. So while there's not much of a difference between the two, it's the sharp break that kind of messes you up sometimes. So I'm working this count here with Vladdy. So far, I've seen 2 fastballs. You know, I'm probably going to get a slider here eventually. So let's see what I get. Nope, he's just going to give me another fastball. And this is what you're going to see in ranked a lot too. So, you know, I know sometimes here in custom practice, you don't get exactly what you would see in ranked seasons. But, you know, I'm looking for that fastball. And that's kind of how you guys have to hit as well. You know, you got to you got to take away the hard stuff. So you got to work on hitting that fastball and then just adjusting to the off speed. So another thing I wanted to work on here and just talk with you guys is PCI placement, working counts, and just how I approach every single at bat. So the way I look at it here is, you know, the toughest pitch to hit in the game is like, say, righty, righty, lefty, lefty. It's the hard stuff inside. So if you're playing against a good player and you just want to get better at the game, you got to take away like one part of the zone. And what I always do is I don't kind of sit inside with my PCI, but I'm always like sitting inside mentally. You know, I'm always looking for something hard inside, because if I'm looking slider away, for example, mentally, I'm not going to be able to make up in time to catch that fastball inside, especially when it's Jacob deGrom, Edward Cabrera. So like right here, I'm not putting my PCI inside, but I'm looking inside for that fastball. You know, I don't want to get beat inside, because if I can cover this inside part of the plate, I'm going to be able to react to anything over the middle and then anything in away. So you guys can see there, I mean, I just flicked my PCI up and in. That's not how you want to hit, obviously, but like I said, we got a new count here with Acuna. I'm always looking inside for a fastball. And there, I got the 2-seamer, and I'm so ready for the fastball that I'm actually kind of early there on the 2-seam. But that's a good thing. You know, you want to be early. You don't want to be late. Again, I'm looking inside there. I'm reacting to a way pitch. And even though I'm late, I'm still getting there to that pitch, man. That's all that matters. Like I said, you know, you're just looking inside for the hard stuff. And then, you know, if you see a changeup or a slider, curveball, etc., you just have to mentally sit back and react to it. And the more that you practice, the easier that this is going to become. And I know for these top players, including myself, we kind of make it look easy sometimes. But, you know, sometimes it's still hard for me. Like that slider there, that's 94. There's really not too many guys in the game that are going to throw a 94-mile-per-hour slider on you. Like right there, I'm still looking inside with Prince Fielder, and I'm just reacting away to that fastball. Even though I'm a tad late, that's still a good swing. You know, I'm taking that pitch the other way. And, you know, like I said, I'm always looking inside for something hard. I don't want to get beat with the fastball. That's one pitch that I'm always looking for mentally. And then you just react to everything else. Now, I know I obviously didn't hit the best there in custom practice, but it's not the easiest to talk and hit at the same time like this. But, you know, the only way you're going to get better at the game is if you just practice. And the one thing I always do is I always warm up before I play. You know, say, I know it's just a video game, but you go to have your baseball game when you were a kid or whatever. You don't just go to the game and hop on the field and hop on the plate and start the game. You know, you have your warm-up swings, you take some fielding practice. Now, obviously, you don't take fielding practice in the show, but, you know, you want to get on, you know, take a couple hacks, get your timing down a little bit, and then hop into a game. It's better than just hopping into ranked. You know, say you don't play for a couple days, and then you see Jacob deGrom, and he's blowing 102 past you, and it looks like he's throwing 150. So by taking a couple hacks, you know, just warming up, you know, trying to get that timing down just a tad, it helps out so much. And there's times where I don't hop in to custom practice before I play a ranked game, and I regret it instantly. So just do it, even if it's like for 5 minutes. You know, take a couple hacks, like I said, get that timing down, get your PCI placement back, and you'll be good to go when you hop into ranked. Now, a couple small things here I wanted to talk about is, you know, I get questioned a lot when I'm streaming, like, do you power swing, do you normal swing, do you contact swing? And I know contact swings were kind of meta for a while. You know, I know a lot of people were using it, but it got nerfed for the most part, and I don't really see anybody use it. So I always normal swing, I always have normal swung. So if you guys are looking for something like that, always normal swing. There's no benefit to power swing. I've been playing this game long enough, and anybody that, you know, has half a brain with this game will tell you the same thing. Power swing doesn't do anything. You know, it only makes your PCI smaller. You're still going to hit homers with normal swing. Like, there's zero benefit to swinging with power swing. Just trust me. I'm a top 5 lifetime player. Always normal swing. The only time I maybe contact swing is when I need to move a guy over with my pitcher and there's 2 strikes. I might just contact swing to put it in play. That's about the only time I'll contact swing. Other than that, we're using normal swing over here. Now, I know some people also ask me, how do you set your lineup? So, you're going into custom practice, you're hitting with these guys, but you're hopping into a ranked game and you don't know how to set your lineup. So this is a team that I'm rocking with right now. I have Trout in center, Acuna in right. I have the God Squad, typical God Squad you're probably going to see when you play this game by now. So the way that I look at it is Kyle Schwarber is the only lefty that I have in my lineup. I would like to have one, sometimes 2 lefties in my lineup, but the way that I look at it is it's always easier for me to hit righty-righty than lefty-lefty. So I want to stack my lineup with right-handed hitters and switch hitters because I can hit righty-righty well. Lefty-lefty, I can do it, but the arm angle, and then a lot of guys don't have good stats lefty-lefty. So this game you have guys like Trout who have reverse splits who are better against righties. Jackie's good against righties. Let's see who else here. I can even hit with Judge, but these guys, their contact might be a little bit lower, but it's just a lot easier for everyone to hit righty-righty. So if I have to make that adjustment at the plate, I'd rather hit, righty-righty than hit lefty-lefty. So the way that I look at it here is I always try to balance out my lineup. I wouldn't do, say, Ronald Acuna, Mike Trout, and then Mike Cap. I would put Acuna, Mike Cap, and then Trout because you have a righty, a switch, and then a righty. There's no point in the game right now with my lineup that somebody can bring, let's say, for example, 99 Goose out of the pen. And while 2 out of the 3 guys say he might face here are righties, my Cap breaks it up. Then we have Eddie Murray, Chipper, and Jackie. Could I put Chipper 5th and break it up that way? Yeah, I can. But I like Chipper in the 5 hole, and I like Eddie Murray cleanup. So I have 2 switch hitters back to back. And then to round out my lineup, I have Jackie, Schwarber, and Judge. Judge, I'm a Yankees fan. I've been hitting well with him. That's why I have him in my lineup. And a lot of people might say, oh, why don't you bat Judge 6th and then Jackie 8th? And the way that I look at it is, I know a lot of people like to put a speedy guy, maybe like a Trey Turner. I've been using him too. I threw Jackie in here to get some innings for some mission progress. But the reason why I bat him 6th is, let's say, for example, I have Jackie batting 8th, right? And I'm really good with Jackie. I hit really well with him. I have him batting 8th. And yeah, he's going to clean up these guys here, say maybe Judge or Kyle Schwarber get on. And Jackie's going to clean it up. Having 99 speed on base and then having the pitcher spot up next, I feel like it's kind of wasted. You get that speed on base. I want to get Jackie on 1st or 2nd, right? Then I got Judge and Schwarber to drive him in. I just feel like if I put him in the 8 hole here, I'm kind of not utilizing his speed the greatest. So the reason why I bat, say, like a Trey Turner or a Jackie Robinson 6th is because they're going to get the job done. They're going to clean up these guys here if they get on. And then Schwarber and Judge are going to get the job done. And I'm going to utilize that 99 speed to the best of my ability. I mean, you can even bat Jackie leadoff, but I like Acuna as my leadoff hitter. He has that pop, and I feel comfortable with him too. But I really like Jackie in like a 6 hole or a Trey Turner here as well if you're not batting them leadoff. So this is how I stack my lineup, and you guys can use a similar lineup to mine, but my piece of advice is even if you have to stack, say the same handed hitter back to back, make it righty-righty. Don't put like 2 lefties back to back. So like, say for example, if I put Juan Soto in the outfield, don't put like Juan Soto batting 8th and Schwarber batting 7th. You don't want 2 lefties because then, say late game, they're bringing Chapman or Gregory Soto, Josh Hader. You don't want to hit lefty-lefty twice. So you want to try to break up your lineup where it's like righty, switch righty, righty, left, switch righty. Like just break it up so that no matter who they bring in out of the pen, they don't have an advantage on you. And then some small tips that I have here as well is, if you're really looking to up your game, last year I made the jump from playing on a TV to a monitor, and it's just been probably the best investment that I've ever made. I picked up a Skeptor monitor, and I might pick up a different monitor in the future, but I've felt comfortable with this, and I believe it's a 25-inch monitor, 1 millisecond response time. The 1 millisecond response time is the #1 thing that you're looking for when you buy a monitor. Because you know, with a game like MLB, you're really looking to have the least amount of input lag as possible. And I would recommend any monitor, like I said, with a 1 millisecond response time. And I would, if you were looking to purchase one, I would get one in the 24 to 28 inch range. I wouldn't go any higher than 28 inches because when you play on a bigger monitor, you know, things are going to get stretched out more. And I just feel like if you're playing on something that's too big, it's going to be harder for you to hit. You know, I feel like 25 is like the sweet spot for me. Some people like a 28-inch monitor. I'm comfortable with this, but like I said, I would get something from 24 to 28 inches if you're looking to get a monitor to up your game. And the last thing I'm going to talk about here is I get asked all the time if I use KontrolFreeks. And yes, I do use KontrolFreeks. And last year when I played on a PS4, I actually never used KontrolFreeks. I didn't like them for MLB because I really liked the PS4 controller and it was easier for me to hold that, and I didn't need a KontrolFreek. I had enough grip on, you know, the left stick, and I just didn't feel like I needed it. But when I got a PS5 back in November when these dropped and I played MLB 20 on it, I was like, damn, I'm like, I can't hit because I have smaller hands and the PS5 controller is kind of big. So what I use here is, I'm going to try to show this the best I can. I have the Galaxy. Now this is my left stick here. So I don't use anything for pitching, but I do use the high rise on my hitting stick because I feel like I have more control with it. And I know a lot of people in this community, especially top players, they use the low rise, and I'm going to put this low rise one on here. So this is the difference here. I'm going to try to hold this as steady as I can between the low rise and the high rise. So you guys can see there, I use the high rise right there. I just feel like I have more control over it. You know, it has a little added height. And, you know, I was struggling even when I had the low rise on. And then just one day I said, you know what? I have the high rise here. Let me see if I like this. And I started hitting so much better. You know, I was able to make those tiny little adjustments on those hard pitches to hit. And it's been so much better for me, man. And if you don't like the high rise, if you guys have them, they're only like $15. You know, I know not everybody has the most money in the world or whatever, and you know, say $15 for me might not be a lot for you, but you know, they've helped me out a ton. I can't play any game without them. You know, I'll play Fortnite, I'll play Call of Duty, I'll even play games like 2K and FIFA, and you know, I always use KontrolFreeks. There's never a time when I don't use one. So if you guys are looking for something, it gives you a little bit more grip. That's all that it does. Gives you a little bit more range of motion, and you get more grip. And it's a lot easier for me to hit. So if you guys are looking for something to help you out there as well, I'll put a link down in the description below to the ones that I use, and you guys can find ones that you like. So I hope this covered everything that you guys were looking for. You know, I appreciate all the support on, you know, the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel here as well. I mean, our last hitting tips video has over 50,000 views right now, which is just absolutely insane. So I hope this, like I said, I hope this one really helped you guys out. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit that sub button. Make sure you guys drop a like on the video. You know, go follow me on my other socials, such as my Twitch and my Twitter. I'll have those dropped down below. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.